What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review. Today I'm very excited to check out 101 from Grail Games. This is for 2 players, ages 8 plus, and it'll take you about 10 minutes to play. And in 101, you're going to be programming or inside of a computer program, or I'm not quite sure. It's more of an abstract 2-player back and forth card game with some cool special abilities. What am I talking about? Let's open it up and check it out. Alrighty then, so we're going to be taking a look at how to play 101 from Grail Games. So in this game, you're going to be trying to score the most points by winning the most rows of cards, and there'll be a row of 50, a row of 40, 30, 20, 10, and that's how many points you're going to win if you successfully can dominate that row and have more cards than your opponent on that row. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go over the rules, and hopefully you'll figure out how to play this. First and foremost, we have our handy-dandy rule booklet, 13 pages, double-sided, full color, full of pictures, illustrations, and how to play the game. It is a very, very simple rule booklet, and have you up and running in no time at all. And in fact, I can probably just teach you how to play it right now. So next we're going to go over the different kinds of cards in the game, because as you notice, this game is all cards. So you're going to be setting the board up just like this. So just focus on this spot right here. This is how you're going to be setting up the board. As I mentioned, there's going to be 5 rows that will go from 10 to 50. And if you can have the most cards of your number on there, you're either going to be playing as ones or playing as zeros. If you have the most cards of your number on that row, then you will win that row. It'll look like that, and that will symbolize that you have 20 points at the end of the game. And whoever has the most points at the end of the game is going to be the winner. So we're just going to go over how the game is played, and then I'll go over some of the special cards. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your deck, and you're going to make sure that all your numbers are facing this way, with the 1 pointed towards you, because you obviously are taking control of player number 1. So you would mix it up like that. You would set a 0 and a 1 up here like that, and then you would be on your merry way. What you're going to do is you're going to draw 3 cards from the deck. Now these 3 cards may look like they're the exact same, but in actuality, some of them will have commands on them, like delete and save and print, and those are going to give you special different abilities, but I'll get into those different abilities in a second. So you're going to draw 3 cards, your opponent would also draw 3 cards, then you're going to do what's called the execute function, which means you're going to play a card from your hand, and I'm going to keep it nice and easy, and I'll play this one right here. So where can I play? What can I play? How does that work? Well, the thing is, you can only play one of your cards in a row that has other cards in it, and that there are 3 cards on top of it. So, for instance, I could not play on this 30 yet until there are 3 cards in the 20. Now, the 10 and the 20 kind of break that rule and negate that rule, but you won't be able to play on the 30 until you have 3 on the 20 and 3 on the 10. You won't be able to play on the 40 until you have 3 on the 30, and so on and so forth. Now, the game is going to be over either when someone tries to grab cards out of their deck and there are no more cards left, which rarely ever happens in the base game, or once you have 3 cards on the 50 row. And once that happens, the game will end immediately. You will tally up the score, and you will see who the winner is. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's go back to this game right here. I have played my 1 card, which would be the execute phase, and then I have what's called the load phase, which means I just draw another card into my hand, and that would be my opponent's turn, and they would have 3 cards ready and waiting in their hand. And this is a good time to introduce the special ability cards, which will be make a lot more sense if I go over this little special ability cheat sheet card right here. Now, some cards are going to have enter on it, which means they're going to move a targeted card down 1 line, and I will show you how that works. So there we go. So right here, we have the enter on the bottom here. If I were to do this, it would not do anything because the enter is not targeting another card. However, if I did whoop that would mean that this 1 up here would be the targeted card, and then it would go down 1 row. So I would be really dominating the 20s right there, and almost to the point that my opponent might just give up on 20s, which could be a nice little tactical move. The next one is delete. Remove a targeted card from the game. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Whichever way you are pointing, that would delete the card. So let's just say that my guy wants to perhaps take over that second row. He still thinks he has a shot. He might play this right here, and then boom, he might take that over. I'm going to lay out a couple more cards so we can get down to some of the bottom rows down here. So we have a 1 here, and we got a 0 here, and that's actually not a card that's in the game. So we'll just continue to go, and we'll have a 0 here, and a 1 there, and this, and we'll do just a couple different things. So we've gone over enter, we've gone over delete, and then there's if/then. That means you're going to flip a targeted card to the side directed. Each one of the numbers is going to be different. So for instance, this is a really cool card. If 0, then, oh wait, that's one of the bonus expansion cards, excuse me. If 0, then 1. So for instance, if I were to play this card right here, that would make that into a 1, which means now we would be tied in that 10 row. And where it used to be there was 3-0, now it would be 2-2, which means no one would be getting those points if the game were to end immediately. Next is print. You're going to play another card when targeting an empty space. This can be an incredibly useful one, especially if you want to play down on stuff that's below you. So for instance, this one right here would print to the side, which means you'd be able to play 2 cards on a row that turn. But some of them will actually have print on the bottom, which means you might, if you play that in the 40 row, you might be playing a card in the 50 row before anybody else can, which is going to give you a leg up on that row and those elusive 50 points. Last but not least, in the base game is save. The targeted card and the save card are immune from other card effects. That means no one can touch it, no one can do anything to you, and that is great. But you're going to continue doing this. You're going to be playing down these cards generally until there are 3 cards on the bottom row, at which point you'll say, oh, 1 this row, 0 that row, and you're going to count it up. But that's not all. Now, I keep saying in the base game, but what I mean is there are extra cards that you're going to be able to play with, which are going to have extra special abilities that you're going to be able to wiggle with. Now, the way this works is you don't just throw all the cards in there. Oh my god, no, you don't do that. We accidentally did that in our first game, and it was crazy and convoluted and just absolutely insane. What they recommended is just replacing 1 or 2 cards and then putting in 1 or 2 of these other cards that have other special abilities, and I'll go over a couple of them. So there's cut and paste. You're going to cut, remove targeted card, and paste, return a targeted card. You have in, if, then, else. So you're going to flip every targeted card to the side directed or delete them. This one just shakes everything up. REM, cards in this direction of REM do not count for control. This one can be a really annoying when you think you have a row just locked down and then someone REMs you and it's like, oh, I can't do that now. I don't have anything. So then we got syntax error. Cards in the direction of syntax error and itself are flipped. This one drives me crazy because it just flips everything and it just changes everything. And then we have go to 10. Move a targeted card to the 10 program line, which is actually probably my favorite one to add in to the regular cards, just because it's just a little bit of take that, and I like it quite a bit. But that, in a nutshell, is how you're going to be playing 101. Alrighty then, 101 from Grail Games. What am I phoning? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game is not going to be for everybody. It's 2 minutes, it's 2 players, which is going to be a turn off to some people if you got a bigger group. It's also an abstract strategy game. The theme is pretty much non-existent. You can put on a lot of themes, even though I will say some of the cards actually make quite a bit of thematic sense. So I don't know how abstracty it is. It's definitely less abstracted than a lot of other abstract games I've played. I'll put it like that. It's 10 minutes in length, so if you're looking for something that's a little bit longer, a little bit meatier, it might not be for you. Also, I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of the extra cards included. They have the base ones that they recommend playing with, and I think there's like 2 or 3 that I normally play with, but there's some that I will never play with just because I feel like they really just tip the game crazy and make it just too random and crazy, even though it's not random because the other person's playing it. I just don't like those cards. But every card that's in the game from when you start the game, I absolutely like it. I like the move to 10, and I like the if/then delete. I like that one a lot. But some of them are just a little bit too crazy for me. Last but not least, if you like artwork in your game, look elsewhere. There's next to no artwork in this game. So, got all the cons out to the side. Let's just push those away and get right down to it. 101 is a fantastic 2-player game that should be on your shelf if you're looking for shorter 2-player games. It's as simple as that. It's a lot of fun. It is super simple to learn. It is super simple to teach. It's easy to have set up and played and down in 15 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. It's portable, it's lightweight, it's compact, And I just really enjoy the game. The game also packs a lot of punch. You know, especially when you're playing with some of the cards that do the crazier stuff, like I mentioned, the ones I don't particularly like. There's actually quite a good deal of strategy in this because you know exactly what your opponent has, and they know exactly what you have, and they even know what you're going to draw, and vice versa. And I like that. I like trying to outthink them, outmaneuver them, outsmart them. I like that an awful lot. Minimalist components, which I'm not, I'm not against. This is a card game. I will say, I felt like what cards were there? There was one card that just felt completely useless, and that was these ones right here, like this one right here. I guess this is more of a nitpick than anything. I kind of wish they would have just included another special ability in the game instead of these, because in all honesty, if you can't figure out who's winning a row. You know what? I take that back. Actually, with some of the convoluted, some of the crazier cards, it does kind of make those are kind of useful. I'm rambling here. Needless to say, bottom line, 101 is a fantastic two-player, abstract, lightning quick to learn, quick to play, quick to teach game that if you're in the market for that sort of thing, you absolutely should check out. This one is definitely one you should not let fly under your radar. That is 101 from Grail Games. If you enjoyed this content, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below, and also in the comments below, let me know what is your favorite game that takes less than 10 minutes to play. Ooh, I probably should have thought about the answer to this question before I asked it. Now I'm stalling for time and looking around the room, seeing what my quick 10-minute games are. Oh my gosh, so many good ones. I might say Click Clack Lumberjack. You know what? I honestly don't know what my favorite 10-minute game is. It might be this right now. 10 minutes is a really short thing. You know what? I'm probably going to go with Zombie Dice. I really enjoy Zombie Dice, and I like this game a lot, but at the same time, it only plays 2, whereas Zombie Dice can play 4 or 5 players. So I'm going to go with Zombie Dice. I'm sure there's one that I'm missing that I actually like a little bit better, but I'll go with Zombie Dice. So let me know in the comments below, what is your favorite 2-player game, or, what is your favorite less than 10-minute game? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.
That was the review for 101. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bauer's Game Corner.